Okay, post 2022 Super Wildcard Weekend Power Rankings. Yeah, I kind of lied. Yeah, we're gonna re-rank every single team, even if they didn't play. Let's get right into it. Let's have some fun. Okay, guys, of course, welcome back to Fun NFL. We got the post NFL Super Wildcard Weekend Power Rankings. Yeah, we're gonna do every team. Of course, there's some aren't gonna be as kind of be the same, but whatever. Titans first team, they're an A-tier team. Like, they are not the best team in the AFC in my opinion. Are they a really good team? Could they get to the AFC Championship? Absolutely. They're not an S-tier team though, and here's why. Honestly, they probably should be an S-tier team, but they didn't look good against the Texans. Their defense is going to have to play a lot better against the Bengals if they want to win. I think they're a really good team. They're not S-tier, though. They are the number one seed, though. Gotta give them their credit. Dolphins, they're C-tier. They're a B-tier team, probably. They did lose Brian Flores as their head coach for some dumb reason. I know why. It's just they don't want him, and he doesn't want to be there. But they're a worse team without him. I think they'll be decent next year. We don't know yet, but they're a C-tier team right now. Jets, like, they're still a dump. Like, I don't really need to say anything else. They finished 4-13. Yeah, they did play close against the Bucs. That was good, but other than that, not really. Falcons, D-tier. They've been stinky poo-poo all year. I don't really need to say anything else. Bengals, yeah, I'll put them in B-tier. Here's why. Their defense, yeah, it was good, but they're gonna have to play better this week. Here's the thing. Bengals are a really good football team. They didn't look amazing offensively. Like I said, they look good. They're going to have to play better, though. Titans are definitely a better team than they are, so they're going to have to play better. Really think they're a really good team, though. They probably could be an A, but there's a reason they're the 4 seed. They aren't the best team in the AFC. Browns, C tier, like, they were just average this year and disappointing. That's about it. Who knows? They could be better next year, but they didn't look good. Jags, like, I mean, they have the number 1 pick. I don't really need to say anything else. Colts, C tier. They were just disappointing at the end of the season, of course. Haven't really done anything. I talked about getting rid of Carson Wentz. I don't really care about that. Probably should keep him, though, because there's not really many big quarterbacks available. Lions, they're still poop. Yeah, I get they have Dan Campbell. Like him as a head coach, but they're going to have to start winning some games. Vikings, honestly, just because they got Mike Zimmer, I'll put them in B. This is an above-average football team when they're healthy. And Mike Zimmer was a terrible clock manager, and as a result, they're going to be a good team regardless of who their coach is. As long as they don't stink like Adam Gase. Bucks, S tier, like, I mean, when you have Tom Brady, you're always going to have a shot to win. They're playing the Rams this week. We'll see what they do. Tough game, but yeah. 49ers, B tier, like, they're a really good team. Should they be an A? Probably, but kind of like the Bengals, you're just good, like, really good, but we don't know how they're going to play against the Packers. They could very well beat them, but their offense is just not very consistent. They're really good at times, but they're not very consistent. The defense is really good, but their offense is going to have to be more consistent if they want to win the game. Bears, F tier. No, I'm joking. They're D tier. They look decent towards the end of the season. Yeah, they lost to the Vikings, but let's be honest, Vikings without Mike Zimmer are B tier. Bears are C tier without Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, who are both gone. We haven't really seen much from them. The end of the season on a bad note, though, here. But I got to admit, the Vikings did look like a B team at the end of the year. Cowboys, like, I'll keep them an A because they're so talented. But, like, with Mike McCarthy, they're just a overrated playoff team. That's about it. But I got to admit, yeah, they did lose to the 49ers, but they should have beat them one. Two, they're one of the most talented teams in the NFL. Like, that's about it. Cowboys fans, don't be worried. You lost. You're eliminated. That's about it. Texans are a dumpster fire. They're going to have to do some stuff. They shouldn't have fired David Coley, and there's my opinion on it. Rams, S tier. Like, I mean, they could very well beat the Bucs. They're not the best team in the NFL, but they could if they don't turn over the ball and play like they did in the game against the Cardinals, they will beat every team in the NFL. It's just, that's how it's going to work. Chargers, they're a really good team. Yeah, I get they lost. They didn't make the playoffs, but they have said many times Justin Herbert had a great season. Sorry about that one. I forgot what team we're on. Oh, yeah, Chargers. Justin Herbert's a great quarterback. Offensive player of the year caliber. Offense is looking really good. They're good for next year. They're definitely an above-average team. Ravens, C tier. I mean, like, they were so bad with injuries. They're probably an A tier team, but considering how they ended the season, I got to put them in C. They lost 6 straight games. Raiders, B tier. Like, of course, they got eliminated, but they're still a good team. They played really close with the Bengals. That was such a good game, but just fell short in the end. They're a good team. They definitely deserve to be that 5 seed. They just didn't get it done. Washington, I mean, they're C tier. They beat a bad team in week 6. No, they're D tier. They're probably better than the Bears. Disappointing year. Taylor Heineke wasn't great. He wasn't terrible by any means, but could have been definitely better. Chiefs, S tier. They could very well be the best team in the NFL. They're really hot. They're playing the Bills in probably the best game of the week, but they did blow out the Steelers in the second half and after that touchdown they gave up. But Steelers, Chiefs are looking really good. Big battle. Let's see how they do. Saints, like, they're C tier. Like, they're probably an A tier team when they're healthy, but they're in C tier right now. Considering the way they ended the season, yeah, they did win, but they just didn't make the playoffs. And it wasn't really a great game, I gotta admit. The Falcons kind of stunk it up. Giants, I don't really care. They're in rock bottom right now. They're F tier. Good job. You fired your GM and your coach. You're still rock bottom. Eagles, C tier. They proved they're a C tier team. They got blown out by the Bucks. The Bucks are an S tier team. That's what they do to the average teams. Steelers, C tier. Like, their offense is really bad. Their defense isn't much better. They didn't look real bad. They didn't look good at all. They held on for a little while, but a couple garbage time scores. They didn't really look like a playoff team. Broncos, D tier. Like, I mean, the way they ended the season just showed it. They played really close with the Chiefs, but they fired Vic Fangio. I don't hate that move. I don't like it either. He didn't really win a ton of games, though. Drew Lock didn't end the season great, but they blew a loss. That just shows a D team. Packers are the best team in the NFL until they lose. They're looking great. They're probably the most balanced team in the NFL, most consistent. They'll play the 49ers in the divisional. We'll see how they do there. Panthers, they're a D tier team. They're better than these 4 teams. They're not much better, but their defense is better, so that just makes them better. Cardinals, they're still a good team. Yeah, I know they just blew the whole entire season, but it doesn't really matter considering that this team most likely, I honestly think they won't have Cliff Kingsbury, which is kind of sad, but they're not a bad team. Like, they didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. Probably would have bailed them out. They're not a good team by any means, but they're not a bad team, guys. They're a good team. Got talent. Bills, S tier. I mean, they just blew out the Patriots. I don't really need to say anything else. Their offense scored 7 touchdowns on 7 drives. Their defense looked elite. They're probably the best team in the NFL right now. They're red hot. They're looking great. Seahawks, D tier. No, they're C tier. Russ is staying. They're going to keep everyone intact. Just a stinker of a year. See how they do next year. Patriots, they played like a C tier team. I'll keep them in B. They're just not that good. They went to Buffalo expecting to win. They lost. And yeah, that's about all I have to say. Either way, guys, like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the post end of Super Wildcard Weekend Power Rankings. Next week, we're definitely just going to do the 8 teams. So yeah, that's about it. Either way, guys, like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. That's going to be the end of the 2022 post NFL Super Wildcard Weekend Power Rankings.